Sometimes the most persuasive arguments have nothing to do with charts or data. They're just a perfectly crafted message. In this explainer, we're going to deconstruct a really powerful piece of writing aimed at parents and figure out what makes it tick. And boom, this is how it all kicks off. The source material we're looking at starts with this incredibly powerful hook. It's not an accusation, it's a validation. It's immediately telling a worried parent, hey, I get it, I see you, you're in the right place. It just completely sidesteps any skepticism by agreeing with what that parent desperately wants to believe. So you've got this amazing opening line. Where do you go from there? Well, the entire argument, and I mean the whole thing, is built on one simple but really effective metaphor. And this is where it gets really smart. The genius of this idea is that it takes the huge, complex, scary world of learning struggles and makes it simple. It makes the problem feel totally solvable. I mean, if the brain is just a muscle, then all you need is the right workout, right? This reframing is an absolute masterclass in persuasion. What we're seeing here is a classic textbook marketing framework in action. Problem, agitate, solve. It's super effective. First up, you have to identify a problem that your audience really truly connects with. So let's see how this script defines the issue. And here's the absolute key. The script is basically saying, hey, it is not your kid's fault. The problem isn't some internal flaw, like they're not smart enough. No, it's an external force, this thing called overload. And that's so critical because it completely removes any sense of blame or shame. It makes a parent way more open to a solution because they don't feel like they're being attacked. And check out this line. This is where they really turn up the heat. This one sentence elevates the problem from, a temporary issue or a bad week to a chronic, constant state of being. It's their norm. That kind of language creates this massive sense of urgency. It suggests that if you don't do something, this is just how it's going to be. All right, so problem, check. They've nailed that. Now we get to the second part of the framework, and honestly, this might be the most powerful one. Agitate. This is where you don't just state the problem, you make the audience feel the painful consequences of it. You kind of twist the knife a little. Look how they lay this out. It's this terrifyingly believable downward spiral. It starts with something small and relatable, right? Just forgetting things. But then it gets worse. It escalates into, I can't. And from there, it's a straight shot to a total crisis of self-worth. Suddenly, this isn't about homework anymore, is it? It's about the child's entire belief in themselves. Wow, I mean, this line right here, that is a gut punch, pure emotion. It's so poetic, and it's designed to tap right into a parent's deepest, darkest fear, watching that spark, that life in their kid just fade away. We're way beyond grades now. We're talking about the very essence of their child. So after all that emotional agitation, what do? Bam! They hit you with this incredibly clear choice. It's night and day. On one side, you've got that terrible downward spiral we just walked through. On the other, this bright, positive, amazing future. The choice is presented as totally black and white. It's obvious. I mean, who wouldn't choose the trained brain? Okay, so we've had the problem. We've had the agitation. Now it's time for the big payoff. The final piece of the puzzle, the solution. And notice, they don't just offer some vague, hopeful idea. Nope. They present something that sounds concrete, solid, and reliable. And the word they use is so important here. A system. Think about that for a second. It's not tips or helpful hints. A system sounds proven. It sounds structured, almost scientific. It tells a worried parent, don't worry, we've got the roadmap. There's no guesswork here. It's exactly what someone in that situation wants to hear. And then comes the magic number, 30. The promise they're making is absolutely huge, right? Reversing years of struggle. But the timeline, it's small, it's manageable, just 30 days. This makes an overwhelming goal feel doable. It's fast, it's tangible, it lowers any resistance by making the commitment seem really small for such a massive potential reward. All right, let's recap. The problem has been defined, the emotions have been stirred up, and a solution has been presented. So what's left? You gotta close the deal. This final part of the script is all about taking that parent on this whole emotional journey and turning it into concrete action. Let's just pull this final pitch apart for a second. First, it builds trust. By saying I don't motivate, the speaker sounds like a practical guide, not some fluffy cheerleader. Second, it empowers the parent. Give him a chance puts the power and the responsibility right back in their hands. And finally, it paints this beautiful, simple picture of the future.
a child who's no longer fighting their own mind. It's just perfect.
And really, that's what this all boils down to. It leaves us with a big question, doesn't it? When a message is this effective, are you being persuaded by the facts, or are you being persuaded by the masterfully constructed emotional journey it just took you on? Understanding that framework is the first step to thinking more critically about all the messages trying to get our attention every single day.